Hi guys. So for some context, Bolt is this vibe coding hackathon that let me go on their Twitter. Is this call it a vibe coding platform. I call it a vibe coding platform because you literally just type in words and it codes it up for you. Okay, we're gonna do a quick comparison test. What do you guys think will make better documentation? ChatGPT o3 or Claude Opus? I currently build all my workflows in N8N. For creating an AI agent that has a deep personality, are you fine-tuning models and calling them as APIs or just taking personality instructions? Hot take, you don't need fine-tuning. You just need good system prompts to make good agents that are engaging and highly detailed. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna give it to Claude. I'm gonna give it to ChatGPT o3, and then yeah, I just wanted a screenshot to show. I just want a screenshot to show ChatGPT and Claude, so they have like further context on why something like this could be good. And then I've given them my code, so you could write detailed documentation, why it works in creating engaging storytelling with agents, be very specific with the prompts, why the prompts work so well. In fact, leave them one-to-one in the docs. I'm gonna say very detailed, yeah, documentation explaining why this works, and then paste this in. So I'm taking my existing code because I like it a lot and the concept there is very important. And see, when I think about this creative storytelling engine, see, there's another Claude chat. Claude chat. Why does that sound so wrong? Claude chat. Okay. So I was talking to Claude about the whole idea behind the storytelling concept, and I gave it the whiteboard screenshot. I gave it my memory process. So this is going to be vital. Now SAR, just for clarification, he said, so no N8N, just code, open router, super base. Do I look like an N8N user? You think I can't code manually? I use AI to code anyways. No, I don't use N8N. I just raw dog that shit, bro. I like full control over my apps. N8N is good though. I'm not dissing anybody who uses N8N. Me personally, I just don't need it. This is the memory process of Boop, one of my early AI agents. This is like one of my first experiments with AI memory. And the way that Boop worked is when it comes to chat history in chat. So if I show system chat history, all right. Whenever there's a picture, I guess this is the best picture we could take. Yeah, so this picture. Right? I don't want to save the image. I just want to look at the image. This is how every single LLM works. There is a chat history array that gets loaded into the model, into the API. There's always a system prompt. And then when the user, like you interacting with the model, interacts, it adds a user role with the content which you wrote. And then when the AI actually replies, it writes an assistant role. This is how every single LLM works currently. They all have a chat history. Now, the thing is, every time you start a new chat with an LLM, what happens? This chat history gets completely wiped. So all your previous context doesn't transfer over if you start a new chat with ChatGPT, unless you save memories. Now, the thing is, how do memories work? When you have memories existing with an agent, you plug them into the system prompt. That way the AI has memories of your last chat. Now, taking this concept and going back to how my memory system works is I made this whole memory system in which we take the short-term chat log, which is the user roles and the assistant roles, and I run it through an extractor agent. And this extractor agent will do two things. One is it creates a summary of the existing chats. So let's say I have 100 chats back and forth talking about random shit, blah, 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 blah. If I just start a new chat and I wipe the whole previous chat, even if I do save specific memories, it's gonna like have a weird cut. Like it's not gonna be the same AI agent I was talking to because he kind of forgot. So one of the biggest problems is AI agents don't have a sense of the present. So by doing this, I gave them a sense of a present. So if I take a summary of our chat logs and I extract it and store it, and I use that summary of our existing chat in the next, when I wipe a chat completely, it doesn't even feel like I wiped the chat because the AI agent has a sense of a present. The AI agent has a sense of the context of the previous conversation because we summarized it. So it continues. Now, as we keep wiping the chat and storing more short-term summaries, I'll condense them into midterm summaries. And then over time, I'll condense the midterm summaries into long-term summary. So the AI agent has a consistent sense of a present over and over and over again. I've used this for a really long time. Now, the other part is detailed memories. So this is where RAG, vector knowledge, knowledge graphs, and like the more complicated memory retrieval comes into play. So if I tell my AI agent what my birthday is, or what my favorite color is, or what my favorite food is, I want that motherfucker to remember my favorite color or my favorite food or my birthday is and all of these important details. Now, the thing is, if we just take a summary of like all the different user chats, it's not gonna remember those specific details. It's not gonna keep them saved in the summary. And over time, as it gets condensed, those important details are gonna get lost over time. Now, if we extract at the same time when we're making a summary of what's going on, if we extract important details of the AI agent interacting with users over time, if we extract the important details of what the AI agent learns about the world over time, because LLMs have old training data, so not always going to be up to date with what's new. And then if we extract these specific details and store them into the long-term memory as well as the short-term summary, then we get a really good effect of an AI agent that, one, maintains a consistent sense of the present, and two, maintains detailed long-term memory. Now, in terms of the actual long-term memory stuff, I use this open source framework called Mem0. It's really, really, really good. So I use Mem0 on top of this blueprint. So like people are like, oh, like Mem0 is good in general. Like, no, Mem0 is not going to be that good unless you have some system like this that makes the memory system really good, right? So why am I bringing this up in the first place? Because if I want an infinite creative storytelling engine, that means I need an AI agent that essentially has a way to consistently remember every single story, every single arc, and extract very important details. So that if we're giving these details in this memory to the world or NPCs, they have a way of bringing up very specific details as well as the long-term summary. Now, if we take this memory system, right, and then we take the arc system that I displayed and showcased earlier, and we take that same concept where as we go through an entire arc, we summarize it, extract all the important details, save that into a world story with this memory system and some similar process, then I think we could have an infinite story that just keeps on going over time as it stores and stores and stores. So that's the concept. What's up, Warhodl? That is all the technical yap. And it was really good I got the technical yap out the way because that helps me like organize my own brain. He said, Unc about to create AGI. Hey bro, AGI for oh, you guys want to see what I got? Like I got a JetBot AI robot kit. So I think after stream, I'm gonna go to my homie's house and then build this. Yeah, yo, Unc starting his Tony Stark arc, baby. I'm like, yo, if I'm making AI, I was always so kind of like scared to get into hardware because it just seems so hard. I literally have fucking AGI and super intelligence at my fingertips, bro. You can just tell me how to make things. So yeah, I'm like, I want to get into making robots. I also. I'm buying a 3D printer so I could also 3D print parts and make more robot parts. He said I'm old school to UK. ChatGPT became my little chat cat and he knows me better than anyone. I'm quite bizarre, but it make me laugh. I don't know if it's true. By the way, Boo's so cute. So stop it. Oh, he wrote detailed docs. He was not fucking around with these documentations, bro. This is good. Okay, so we have our documentation for arcs. All right, let's see what O3 documentation wrote. Claude writes way better documentation. I'm saying that right now. Claude writes way. So I see you have the main quest sort of storytelling. Are you implementing the full world or just singular line storytelling? It's the full world, bro. So look, so now I did take the leisure to yap back and forth with Claude. Yeah, what it wrote was a kind of cracked. I don't really know how to explain. So I was talking back and forth about like some plans and how we could do this. And I wrote something I really, really liked. It was, okay. Infinite creative storytelling engine MVP. Side quests, NPCs, hidden quests, player classes based on the world ENV. No, this is for the general, like, this is the narrative engine. All of that, side quests, NPCs, hidden quests, player classes, derive from the narrative engine. The whole point is to make an overarching narrative engine that controls everything else that you could plug into your game, which can make side quests based on the current engine, which could make NPCs based on the current engine, which could make hidden quests based on the current engine, based on the current story. This is just like the overarching thing that keeps consistency and keeps a world story. Like when you think of a video game like Skyrim, think about the lore. When you think of a video game like Fallout, think about the lore. Like that carries everything. So that's what we're gonna focus on building, because then we can make anything from that, and then I can make the Boo D&D game with that overarching story narrative. And as people play the game, then there's a way to progress the story narrative. As people interact and play and talk with your NPCs or do whatever, there's a way to progress it, and there's a way to store everything. So that's what we're gonna focus on. We're gonna focus on that. So this is the most interesting thing, is so it creates a schema with worlds and then world arcs. So you can make like infinite worlds, and then there's world arcs, and then there's the world beats that progress it, and then there's participants like player, NPCs, factions, and then there's individual participant story arcs, and then there's this is like arcs. So this is what's interesting about this concept to me. There's like arcs and arcs. So you have the world arc, and then you got participant arcs. So it's like you have the whole world arc, but then in the world arc, there's like a bunch of like everyone has their own storyline or arc they're going through that connect with the world arc. So I found this concept really interesting. You have entities in the world. Can the main lore change as the game progresses? Yes, the point is for the main lore to be created as the game progresses. So as people interact and play the game, The lore is being made on the spot. This whole system is meant to keep that consistent. And then there's story intersections, like where stories intersect. I don't know, we'll see. And then you got histories. So I'm like, this concept itself is really interesting. Will the players be able to create their own story arcs too? I mean, with this one, it says participants get their own story arcs. The whole point is not for people to make their own story arc though, it's for people to live their own story arc and progress that. If you haven't seen it, you should watch the show by Dan Harmon, Harmon Quest. What is Harmon Quest? If I search this up, am I gonna get banned? What's it about? It's an adult animated. I need to organize my mind real quick. LM structured data. So I was asking him about M0. Yes, okay, it was this one. Yes. What's up, CV Spears? Yeah, how we handle granular world facts. Think of the story engine's memory as 4 shelves, not 3. So you have today's journal, which is moment-to-moment scenes. You have chapter summaries, which is a 1-page recap of each day/episode. You have the chronicle, which are the big turning points in history, like World War I, World War II, President getting elected, COVID. That was a big chronicle thing. I see it more as a simulation engine. You know what the beauty of that is, boys? It could be literally both. It doesn't fucking matter. It's AI. It could be anything and everything all at once. It could be whatever you want it to be. That's why it's so great. So this is my favorite part. This is the concept I wanted the most from this chat. Is the world almanac. Concrete, reusable facts about the world. Maps, laws, character bios, item stats. Whenever a fact is added or contradicted, I think this is the main concept. So each fact is a card in the almanac. So as the story progresses, like, oh, someone just makes up a new town called Silverport. We have the region is stored in the population, whatever, like information about that, when it first appeared in the story, day 12. And then a card gets placed in the story, and that becomes a RAG retrievable fact about the story. What about retrieving? I'm not too worried about retrieving. He said, Butoshi, appreciate this. I appreciate you. Adding or updating a fact goes to the same librarian loop. Oh, it actually gave me like the RAG vector data. So adding or updating a fact goes to the same librarian loop. If we vector search, we pull the 3 to 5 closest cards. New line, Silverport's population exploded 60,000. Most similar card return the existing Silverport card. Agent decides to add, update, delete, no op, back and commits. So it updates that. Retrieval is entity first, not timeline first. When the storyteller creates a scene, it scans for a draft of named entities. It calls retrieve card for each one. Librarian hands back relevant cards, or the LLM drops in the prompt spool effects. LLM narrates confidently. Because each card also has an embedding vector, the system can do fuzzing pools. I like that. I like the World Almanac shelf for like long-term details of the story that could get updated, because that's how Mem0 already works. Is what's really cool about Mem0. My question is, how do I get Mem0 in a bolt? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I want to take this entire chat and then I want to give this to Claude and see what he thinks. There's like infinite ways to do this too. So here's a chat from another LLM. I really like the World Almanac thing. And paste that in. This is with Opus. This is with Opus thinking, so it should be smart. So this is a different chat. So this one's interesting. So I just had this chat last night. I was like baited as shit. But I asked if it knew the current capabilities, current LLMs as yourself, and the ability to output structured data so AI calls are able to be used and parsed. It understands how we could use structured data as an LLM. And then I asked it if it understood how RAG worked. And it did understand how RAG worked. And then I asked it if it knows how to do graph memories and RAG memories. And it did understand how LLMs could use graph knowledge memories, which is really interesting because previous LLMs were just completely wrong when it came to this. But this one was actually pretty correct. And then I asked it to do research on Mem0's architecture and how that works. And it gave me this whole write-up. So I'm kind of like, I'm giving it foreplay before I have it answer the main question. So I wanted unfiltered, like all these previous chats had my seeds on how I would make a storytelling engine. Now, I'm kind of curious how Claude would approach it without being prompted. So how would you create an infinite storytelling engine with LLMs that keep a consistent story and concrete facts created over time? Created and stored and updated over time. Just to see what this one would come up with. Wait, story format. Are you envisioning interactive fiction? Yes. I think the ultimate engine of a D&D game, as users play, the story progresses. Should this maintain one continuous story thread indefinitely or support multiple parallel stories / worlds that share some common elements? I think the latter. Well, because like multiple parallel stories would be one. I think the latter. Multiple stories should continue indefinitely. How much should users influence a story? It really depends. but user interaction is what progresses the story. Here's a chat from another LLM or like the world almanac thing. This is an absolute brilliant vision. Oh my god, I can't take being glazed by these engines, bro. Let me help you flesh out how to integrate these concepts into cohesive MVP that builds on your existing ARC system. The infinite creative storytelling engine integrated design. Core concept, 3-layer memory architecture. Your existing ARC system already handles narrative structure beautifully. Now we layer it in a system. So you have the ARC layer, the narrative skeleton, 15 beats, save the cat structure, anchor points that determine the shape of stories, ARC summaries that become history books. Okay? That's one concept. Enough work, gang. Put on some Ice Spice compilations. I could remake some Ice Spice compilations. If you send me 200 gifted, 200 gifted. No, I'm playing. I'm not tricking on stream. Please don't send me 200 gifted. The memory layer, living context, immediate memory. Current interactions, recent events, consolidated memory, daily, weekly summaries, what happened, historical memory, major events, included ARC summaries. Player says, I befriend the dragon. System finds memory. Dragons killed player's family. AI reconciles, either updates relationship status or generates narrative tension. Okay, so now if we're breaking this down into a basic MVP, I want to be able to, I gotta just start making it. All right, back to bolts. How can bolts help me today? First thing I want to do is get open router integration into this. How would I prompt bolt? Set up open router integration and create an AI core. So one of the most important things when you guys are working with agents is I really like OpenPipe. OpenPipe allows me to debug my AI agent systems. So I'm gonna tell Bolt to create, so I'm gonna take this page, I'm gonna OpenPipe integration, paste that, and then I'm gonna take open router quick start, OT, open router integration. And then I'm gonna say, I want you to make me an AI core that we're gonna reference and use in the app. It's gonna be OpenPipe wrapped in open router. So using the OpenPipe SDK, because that's OpenAI's SDK, and open router is just a link. So create an AI core that is open router wrapped in OpenPipe that we could use as the main reference, and create a simple chat interface where I could select any models available from open router to chat with. Don't worry about saving it. So what I'm doing right now is I want to create an AI core that we could reference and play with, and I want to be able to switch the models. I guess I'm gonna give it access to models I want to be able to use. Use these models. Okay, so let's see. I've never used Bolt, so we'll see how this works. Yeah, this is live Bolt testing. I do really like this about Bolt off rip. I mean, how is there not like an easy way to add EMV keys to Bolt? That's gonna be my first. Yeah, putting my open router key inside this thing, bro. How am I supposed to make something on Bolt if I can't? Can I add my EMV to Bolt? Can I make an ENV key and then add it to Bolt? Can you make a .env? Oh, there is a .env. .env for the open router keys. Similar to how. So really happy it. Oh, fuck. Showed my shit. It is mainly front end shit. So I'm trying to see what we could do. So I gotta have my open router key and my open pipe key. All right, chat. I am, this is a great honor right now. Please don't take my EMV key. I don't feel like alt tabbing. Also, I'm adding like a $5 limit. This is Scout's honor. This is literally Vibe Coder's honor right now. Don't take my shit, please. Oh, it doesn't even show the full thing. Stop, don't show it. Okay. Open pipe key. I need a cooler name than like infinite storytelling engine. Oh guys, really that's actually diabolical work. Okay, does that work? I added it. API key, invite open router, API key. Why is this not working? Global is not defined. This is not my fault. Provide more info about this issue to help Bolt fix it. You're supposed to fix it for me, bro. I'm a vibe coder. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to explain issues. So it says global is not defined in node modules. Open pipe. Did you install the open pipe? I think I could install it. There's a terminal. I see a terminal. Try this. You work now? How do I? No? Claude 4 wouldn't do this to me. I don't know if Claude 4 is in Bolt yet. We're gonna make the front end on Bolt, and I hope that counts. So this is what we're gonna do is, I don't know what happens if I take our code director script and with all this context, I tell Claude to make something. I take this entire chat and then I paste this in. And then I take our code director prompt and I paste this in. Don't worry about storing in mem0 right now. Let's focus on getting an MVP, which allows us to create stories with a beginning, middle, end, progress them with user interactions. Allows us to create a world story, progress them with user interactions. As each beat progresses, let's have an AI agent extract dynamically via inputs of world info or users interacting with the story. Let's have an AI agent extract the most important details and store them into Superbase. At the end of an arc, we'll summarize it and add it to the history book so that future arcs generated progress based off existing arcs. We'll focus on the query retrieval inputs later, but add placeholders. And then I'm gonna take this prompt I used up here because I want a base where we use OpenRouter and OpenPipe. Be hyper detailed with the prompt to the coder agent because it can follow it well. Okay, MVP overview, infinite creative storytelling engine. We're building an AI-powered storytelling engine that generates images. He never really gets how to add OpenPipe to it. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna write a new prompt. We create arcs, but instead of progressing a single character. So we're gonna do it one by one. So first we're gonna start with the arc system, and then we're gonna summarize that, and then we're gonna extract the details from that, and then we'll be able to make a system where we dynamically progress it based on character inputs. And I think the memory system where we extract details comes at the very end. I think that's the easiest way to architect this whole thing. The concept. I'm gonna say, for the AI system, create a centralized AI core service we use and reference that installs the OpenPipe SDK, OpenPipe router, and we're gonna use OpenRouter for the actual LLM. So I'm going back and I'm just telling it that I want to use OpenRouter docs. I'm gonna say use the OpenAI SDK imported via OpenPipe for OpenRouter. Use Superbase as a database storage and create a light front end interface that allows us to interact with this base arc system. Yeah, I think if I take all of this and then I open up I need a cool name. I'm so bad at names. I won't call it arcs. I won't call it something else. What should this infinite storytelling engine be called? It's a good name. Narrative operating system. Narrative OS. I know Lumen's already some like 6 system. Narrative OS. Story OS. Story engine. I'm gonna just still call it story engine. Who's gonna stop me, bro? Simple, straight to the point. Story engine. Make dir story engine. CD story engine. Claude. Repo prompt. Copy this. Paste. Oh, I gotta restart. Bro, I hate that my MCP for Context 7, like always, like never saves. I have to constantly reinstall. That's so irritating. Hold on. MCP. Okay. Oops. Is this using Opus? Yes. Run up my bell, baby. Is Cloud Code actually one shot the first Arc system way back? You're being so complicated. Can you just make it like how would the best import work? Bolts hackathon.dev. I'm just make it do a Vite plus TypeScript. Just do Vite plus TypeScript. Okay. I have to like make Vite TypeScript template getting started. I think vanilla TS. So npm creates templates vanilla TypeScript. Terminal clear cd dot. Can I not? cd my view app npm install npm run dev. Okay. This is the base TypeScript thing that we wanted. I'm gonna rename this my view app. Rename this to story engine. cd story engine clear. And then I want to open up Claude. I'm gonna make sure my MCP is here. The current dir is a Vite TS vanilla app directory. Just create a simple front end to focus mostly on the back end. Copy, paste. And I'll fix these type errors real quick. Oh, let me get these schemas. Oops, I just doxed my API keys. My bad. Paste these in. Okay, now we got the worlds, world event, world beats, world arcs. Yeah, making progress. So we just had Cloud Code write up pretty much the most important part for us. So if I run dev now, this is the Unity example. I think Superbase URL in the Superbase service clients. I have it in the .env. It's not reading it. Go back to Cloud. I have added the env files properly, but I'm getting this error. I think Cloud Code could save us. Cool. Okay. We got it working. Check it. Okay, so we have our Superbase URL loaded, anon key loaded, OpenRouter API key loaded. So I could create a new world. Let's call this BooQuest. World description. So we can start by creating a world, it seems like. Open the console so we can see any debugs. Oh. Look at that. So we could record events. Okay, story arc. Start a new arc, see what happens. So if I go to Superbase, I assume that what I just created is in the tables. Yes. A world created. So if I start a new arc, what happens if I just click start a new arc? Okay, failed to create arc. Did we get an arc come in the request? We did have an arc come in the request. Okay, so this is good as a start base. So I'm gonna push this to GitHub real quick. So we save our base. Always push to Git. Git remote set origin. I always forget the commands. Push my current GitHub code base to this GitHub repo. So We have to add more detailed logs. I have to update the AI system so it uses function calling for consistency because it did work. So this is what's really good about OpenPipe is it logs all of our AI actions. So we need to update this to use function calling. So I'm going to first push this to GitHub so that we save everything nice to GitHub. Hold up. Why did you not read my git ignore? Git init. How do I reset the git? I added env to the git ignore. That was my fault. I thought it was already automatically included. It's just reset, git reset. Clear. Git init, git add dot. I have a git add initiated, but I have to undo the git add. I don't know. I have a commit stage too. I went to one stage. Okay, my env is unstaged now. Now we could get add dot git commit m initial story engine push from Claude code git push origin main. Make sure that my env didn't get pushed. Okay, this is all good. Now that we pushed the initial to git, now we can start making changes. So first change I'm gonna ask Claude Code to make is I want function calling to be used in everything. So I'm gonna copy this page and I'm gonna write a prompt where I'm like function calling docs, and then I'm gonna instruct Claude Code update so that one we log everything important in terms of logic plus flow, and say update the AI system so that everything uses function calling to ensure guaranteed structured JSON outputs that we can use for consistency. Ensure tools for each AI LLM call is forced on. And this should be good enough for Claude Code to understand how to use function calling in the system. So I'm having Claude Code push to GitHub for me. And then check this out. So then when we go on GitHub and you see the commit, it says Claude Code. Oh, I guess it doesn't. Usually it says committed by King Butoshi and Claude Code, which is really funny. Okay, so now I got these. Okay, so I could load an existing world via ID. So I guess I could load this. Okay, we can see all the nice detailed debug logs right here. Right here. Yeah, okay, so now we have nice detailed debug logs to see what's going on, which is great. Now we can continue progressing through it. So if I click start a new arc, start a new arc is calling open router completions. Arc created successfully. Ah, look at that. Okay, hold on, I gotta get into D&D mode. D&D storytelling music. The Reforged Boo Kingdom. Wait, how do I view the different arcs? After the great struggle, the Boo Kingdom emerges not only restored but transformed. The blockchain has been reinforced with new security and new regions have been developed. Unique traits influenced by alliances formed during the crisis. Butoshi and Butoshi's leadership is now tested in this new landscape where previously unthinkable collaborations have created a new economic and social systems among the Boos. World changes. Encourage the creation of new laws and governance based on player decisions. Support cultural exchanges to blend the qualities of different Boo factions. Foster explorations. Okay. Emerging stories. Players can influence the establishment of new government systems. Adventurers can explore the fueling new formed regions and uncover their secrets. Some factions may rise to power, creating potential conflict for players to navigate. So now we can record world events. It looks like. Ooh, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. Oh, fuck, I'm hyped. Okay, so I'm gonna say, one thing I'm gonna ask Claude Code to do now, before we continue, is I'm gonna ask Claude to now write detailed documentation explaining how the system works. So create detailed documentation in docs explaining how the system works, how the narrative and story progresses, and also write important developer documentation we need for developers to easily contribute to this project. So after Claude Code creates a successful code base, I then have it create documentation that go into explaining how the system works and how the documents work, so that when we reset this Claude Code chat, we have all the context it needs to build on top of it, plus the code, plus how it works. And it just makes vibe coding really easy and a reliable process on top of it. So yeah, super simple prompt, just create detailed docs after, in the same chat that he created all of this code in. So this is the same Claude Code instance. Okay, so we got this whole part done. And then it seems like we could record events, and then we could progress the story based on all of the events we add. So the world description, I assume that the AI system gets information about the world. It does have information about the world. Oh, it even writes it. So characters are just a micro pattern that is self-similar to the world story. I think characters could exist in the world story, like characters are a part of the world story, and based on the world story, characters could have these micro arcs of their own that exist to progress them. It's really cool. It's really cool. Okay. So I just want to fix all of these schemas real quick. So everywhere that there is like faulty schemas, because it's all TypeScript stuff, I'm just going to have O3 run it and fix it all up. So line 32, grab this, paste it in. Line 32, util/logger.ts, as well as, I guess only that line. And then arc world service. So right here, line 311. We get the error property generation completion. We get does not exist. AI service called beat index. This was in world arc.service.ts. This one is in ai.service.ts. Line 332. We get this type error, and then in the world roots, so world.roots.ts. For every this line, we get no overload matches. Follow this call. So I'm just quickly gonna fix these because these are minor. Please fix all these type errors. So then one thing I want to fix is I'm gonna take this, and then I'm gonna just go to maybe like Sonnet, and then I'll just move my whole SRC here, paste this picture in, and then be like, oops, I have no way of clicking different arcs to see them. I also have no view of the current arc. Please add this. So before I start any more changes, let's wait for all of these fixes to fix. Okay, so we don't need that. Go! No more type errors, it looks like. What are you making? I am making a infinite storytelling engine. I don't know if you have any more moves to plan, so I'm gonna just stop you. Okay, let's run our code to make sure that everything works. Let's load in our current world arc. Copy paste that. Oh, that was the arc. That was not the world. I was like, damn, our code broke. Okay, cool. So now we got a bunch of events. So now we have fully working code with working TypeScript. Hi, Havish, what's up? And then we got all our documentation, which makes working on this easier. Now I'm going to git add dot, git commit m, added documentation, and fix TypeScript errors. We're gonna push this. Oh wait, hold on, I have some weird errors here. Let's fix the API stuff here. And then I could take this project, move it to Bolt, and then we could start making like the front end UI a lot nicer and see from the front end user experience what we should add on top of it. And then with this world story engine, I might have to make a little D&D game on top of it using Bolt. But really strong base. I'm really happy about this base. Git commit m, fixed unused type errors in server.ts. Push this, making sure our code still runs. Cool. And then just making sure I could grab our world. Cool. So now I should be able to take this and go to Bolt. Yeah. I should be able to import this from my GitHub. And then we can start working on all like the nice front end stuff. Using Bolt is the plan. Okay. This is story engine. I want to choose this repo. Oh, does this work off Bolt already? If it works off Bolt already, that'd be fantastic. It failed to fetch. I think that's a npm run dev all. What was the command? Oh, it's because I don't have any of the envs. One sec. Yeah, Superbase loaded. Everything loaded. Superbase is initialized. Oh, yes. Okay, we can work in Bolt now. I'm eligible for the hackathon. Jordan, I would love to see the MVP. Now I want to say if I could like take this screenshot and be like, it's not showing our current existing arc. I also can't pick between the different arcs that exist. Please make it so 1, By default, the front end shows the existing arcs. Make it so I can click through arcs. Okay, cool. It shows our current arc, but we still can't pick between pieces. Okay, shows our current arc, but we still can't pick what arc we want to load in. It shows the last arc by default. It should show our current arc, and we need to be able to pick the different arcs to work with and view their contents. Check this out. Yeah, I still can't pick my fucking. Maybe I should copy the elements of like this whole like timeline. I'm gonna copy this. It's this element we're clicking on the front end. On the front end to progress, but nothing happens when we run it. Also, our dev, go to package.json. Our dev should run this by default. It's looking good. Okay, well, I'm back from the bathroom. I just came up with a banger idea. Okay, let's see if this works now. Why is the server not running? So we need to update this to reset this. So we need to run dev, and then we need to run dev.all. Is there a way I could add system prompts into this? And an oopsie. npm run dev debug. It should show our port now. Why is it not showing our Vite port? Oh, I never hit save, that's why. Oh, he's bugging. First quit the terminal. I messed up the, oh, thanks Pat Lobby for the follow. I messed up the package.json. Trying to set it so that dev runs Vite plus npm run server. And then we do npm run dev. Okay, so did Bolt fix this issue? So it progressed the beat instead of selecting it. I'm gonna copy the terminal logs now, because that is not what it should do. Okay, clicking, it has my, okay. Clicking a beat caused it on the story timeline, caused it to progress. The story timeline is meant to only allow us to click between beats in the story and view them. And then paste in the log, so it should work. Okay, this works now. We can now pick between them. This is good. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, cool. So we got that working on the front end now. And then I want to say, so what if we try this? What if we try the strategy where I take our entire code base? How do I deploy this? What is stack blitz? Oh, this is interesting. What if I just add something like, okay, now I want to use Superbase and create a login system. In this login system, users should be able to create worlds, attach to them. Then they should be able to access the worlds in the UI. And from there, they can view the arcs, add world events, and progress arcs. They should all be visible on login. So that's Superbase API access. Into the Bolt and see how that works. Connect this project. Add user ID to the worlds table. Yes, apply that change, that's important. And then that just add user ID into the worlds table just like that? Oh, it does. Oh, cute. Okay. And then I need, so it does work with migrations off-road. That's really cool. So now update the front end. Take a screenshot of it. Now update the front end so that users must log in or they can use the app. Nice. Let's fix this problem, Bolt. In the meantime, okay, let me try signing up. Check your email to confirm your account. I don't have an email login. So if I refresh, npm run dev debug. Ah, okay, I'm signed in, so now I can make a world. Let's call it BootQuest. World description, the same world description of before. I don't know, why are you getting world error when it worked? It shows it works. Okay, so now we could select our world. Yeah, this is the errors we're facing now. Fails to get world state. What does it look like in our tables? So it shows user ID on this one we created. Let's go ahead and take these console logs. And remember, when we are debugging, we always explain what works and what doesn't work. Creating a world, logging in, and creating a world worked. However, it popped up with 2 errors. I'm not sure why. Then when I try loading in the world, I get failed to load world, failed to get world state. Okay, load world. Still getting failed to load world state. Why? Okay, let's take this out of Bolt, push it to GitHub. See if Bolt could fix this actually. Let's make Bolt people happy. Okay, I get this error when I try loading the world now. And then console logs. And I'm gonna do a refactor. So I'm gonna take this out of Bolt. I'm gonna do a refactor so everything is nice and organized. And I'm gonna make sure types. Okay, we still get this error. I don't know if Bolt is simply capable of fixing these. It just doesn't seem to be working. Maybe when they add Claude 4, but I'm pretty sure right now it's still Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is a little tough. Have me downgrade. Okay, Bolt is just not fixing this issue, bro. So we're gonna take this out, but we got the Superbase authentication integration working, which is very nice. So let's take this out of Bolt. Let's download our project, and let's what's the easiest way we could just like, can we push to GitHub from here actually? Can you make a commit and push all our current changes to GitHub? Oh, no, I'm getting this. Wait, hold on, let's try one more fix, see if that works. He just said, fuck my error, I'm not fixing your error. Okay, Bolt. Speak your truth, King. Damn. Okay. Take our current changes and push it to GitHub. No. I already have a repo. Please tell me you can push from GitHub in Bolt. Set up our repo and push to Git. Maybe I could create a token. Maybe I can make a token for this specifically and then give it to Bolt. Let's try that. Let's go to settings and then let us make a, what am I looking for? Okay, let me show you guys like the research I do just so you can see how I use AI to help me with specific problems. Maybe that'd be useful for y'all. So our current goal is to, can I create a GitHub token to give to a code base that can use that to push to a specific repo? So you should just go to O3 to ask all my difficult questions. I'm sure GPT 4.0 would do fine too. So I could create a fine-grained personal access token. Settings, developer settings, personal access tokens. Developer settings, fine-grained token. Generate new token. Let's call this Bolt. Story engine Bolt Hackathon. And then I want to choose this for only the story engine. And I want to give read and write permissions. Read and write. And then which ones would it be? Respiratory contents. So not actions, not commit status, not pull requests, but it would be account permissions. Just paste all the options in. Which ones do I pick? Why is that one photo taking forever to upload? I think that was the top one. So that was this one. Which ones do I pick? Oh, contents. So read and write, and then metadata. Everything else is fine. Generate token. So I'm gonna say, I created in my .env a GitHub, what do I call it? GitHub repo token with a GitHub token that has permission to my GitHub repo, story engine, repository contents, read and write permissions. This should make it so you can commit and push current changes to my GitHub. Please set up a utility file you can use to add files, commit changes, and push them to the repo. That should work? Question mark? You need to add your repo URL to your env file. Okay, so, okay, I added the URL to the env and the token. By the way, I know I leaked my token earlier. I just deleted it and started a new one, so don't even try it. Please. Trust me. I added the URL to the env. My mic was far away again. I added the URL to the env and the token. Please add all the changes we did. Push it to GitHub. Is it possible for you to read all the changes in comparison to the GitHub to make the changes too? Run it and do it for me. Files should not be pushed to GitHub. Did it work? Oh, it did work. Cool. What are all the commits it did? Oh, is it already pushing all of this for us? I didn't even know. I might have made that for no reason. Oh, it seems to do all of it for us automatically. Damn, I'm about to. Well, that's good to know. I'm gonna spin up Cloud Code. Oh my God. Okay. Git pull. So I just made that whole like GitHub migration script for no reason. It's good to know. Okay, now we're gonna spin up Cloud Code and we're gonna like fix this whole thing up. So what I'm gonna do first is I love taking repo prompt and grabbing the repo prompt and using this to grab everything, and then I can select everything. Our current code base is about 40K. So because we wrote documentation from the earlier Cloud Code, it knows everything we need. We have the super base authentication system built into it already. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to break down. I want to make this a lot more modular. I'm not really sure how. So I'm gonna have O3 do it for me. I want to make this code a lot more modular, especially when it comes to creating worlds, AI services, calls, auth, all of that. All the different AI functions, calls, schemas, ect should be in its own file, broken down. And there's another thing that was really big that I wanted to make smaller. Oh, so let's get rid of this Git service. I really don't want it. All the different AI functions, calls, schemas, ect. Oh, it was the types. I also need types to be own folders, so it's easier to work with. What's the high level overview of this? Copy that. I'm gonna go to O3. It should have access to all my files. I'm gonna paste that in. So first I asked for the high level overview, and then I'm gonna take this to O3 in cursor, and then I'm gonna have O3 in cursor do this because it does a really good job at doing that. I tried making like Cloud Code, make it more modular, and it just kind of messed up the system. I'm not sure why. So we're gonna take this, and then cool, now I have the high level overview, and then I have a prompt that takes the high level overview and converts it into a smaller prompt. So we're gonna take this, run that up. I really don't think Bolt is good for backend stuff. It's being really annoying. So I think I'm just gonna use it for front end. Should be good for front end. It should be okay for front end. I think all that matters is we could deploy on Bolt and it shows the badge. Okay, so now we have like this whole thing going on. And I do like its strategy for making more modular. So we have modules. We have the world module for worlds, bounding context, arc, beats, events, auth. We have the AI for the different layers. We have the open AI client. It's actually open router, so I'm gonna fix that. I guess if we leave it at open AI. And then we have the different schemas for world arc, dynamic beat summaries. We have the different prompt templates we're going to be using in the services. We got shared for world type. So this is all good. This is fantastic. This is a good modular structure for us to use. And then I'm going to take this high level overview. I'm going to paste it into O3 Max, and that's going to do magic for us. Now, in the meantime, I was looking at the open pipe requests. And while that is working our code modular, we're gonna work on the second part, which is fixing what this looks like. So one thing we're gonna fix is the whole thing is we have to fix the AI services so that the proper context is included in LLM calls when we're working with it. From our AI debugs on OpenPipe, so first thing I noticed, so when it comes to actually creating the arc, this is good. It shows the world and the input seed. So I think this is fine. However, when progressing an arc, this was the user prompt. We need to include the world information in this prompt. So we need to include the world description. We need to include the world description in this prompt. And then it's not showing the names of the previous beats properly. If the previous beats are anchors properly, it shows up as undefined. think that's pretty much it. Cloud is already done? Oh, npm install Zod. Oh, okay, so it made it nice and modular. What about the AI stuff? I feel like it's not. So they created this shared. Oh, it made an src/AI thing. And then what about the prompts that we wanted? Should have moved all the prompts. Okay. We need to break up all the services to fit the system too. So I'm like, we still have utils, we still have services, we still have this old API. We still have all the old backend logic. Every prompt, completely untouched, should be moved to a prompts folder following original schema, original src schema. It should look like this. And ensure that our old backend works with this new refactor. We got a different arc. So we have our logger here. So definitely didn't take our old one. Gotta fix that up. We want the backend modular too. That's like the most important part. Or the AI service stuff. We don't have schemas when we don't have client. I'm happy about the progress though. I wish I could show like if it loaded in. That would be nice to show. See if this finishes up. See if we could fix that real quick. Let me accept all of these real quick. Let me see if I could fix this real quick. So that'll update this. Okay, so we got a really strong base. Work on this. I think the next update to do is to make it so we could actually add the knowledge graph long-term memory system for specific details in the story. We have the general story being made, and so it's really easy to pull from the overarching story and build games and narratives on top of that. Seems like from the way the current system is structured, we are able to add different important parts of the story. Wait for this to finish up real quick. I'm letting it cook. I'm letting him cook. Okay, so if you npm run dev from here, I'll have to run npm run dev debug. This is not going to launch the server. Hold on. npm run dev debug is not launching. Now our local host is loading. Empty screen. And we get no logs on the front end. It should be running the backend and the server, but this isn't showing anything right now. Yeah, we did get far. So yes, next stream, we're gonna work on the actual long-term RAG memory part of this. Well, the whole plan was week 1, we work on the actual engine. We got 75% of the engine done. We need long-term memories and long-term details and like the world details of the story as it progresses to add it to the lore and create like this whole book of what's going on. It seems like we could dynamically add things based on what is going on. And then, oh, okay. So if I log in, oh, I don't have those in my super base from Bolt. That's why. Give me one sec. So if I grab, I don't know, I'm frozen on the side. So if I grab the Vite super base URL and the key, it's like that's a local. Add it to my env and then npm run dev and then launch this. Then we should be able to log in. And then it fails to get world states. So screenshot this and then be like, we failed to get world states when loading the world. And we have to fix the logger after the refactor, so all the logs show. But we have everything nice and split, so it's easy to work with. Okay. I'm gonna end stream there. Then we're gonna run this shit up on Wednesday. I will be streaming next on Wednesday at 10 a.m. PST for 4 hours, so tune in if you guys wanna watch. And then, yeah, I will post updates as this goes through. Yeah, I'm running late for a call, so I'm gonna hop in that before they get mad at me. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. This is day 1 out of like 10 or something. Okay, have a good day, y'all.